The playoffs in offensive efficiency, 5 of them are New York Knicks. 5 of them: Mitchell Robinson, Julius Randle, Manuel Quickly, R.J. Barrett. I'm just looking at them right now, and Josh Hart to add as well. They've got to be more efficient. They've got to get more production from their bench. R.J. Barrett has been atrocious, just 24% shooting for the field, the worst of anybody in the playoffs thus far. They get it together tonight. I think the moment is big. I think they will rise to the occasion. Get the ball, Julius Randle, get the ball in the hands of Jalen Brunson. Didn't do good on drives in game 2 as he did in game 1. I think he shows up tonight with poised efficiency, and he sparks the New York Knicks. They win this game.
Jalen, which player decides it tonight? Who do you have your eye most firmly on? Who's the player on the floor who decides it tonight?
A player that averaged 22 and 8 this year, 41% shooting from the 3. He was an all-star last year, had a 50-point game this year, and he's a part of the core 4 of the Cleveland Cavaliers. It isn't Jared Allen, it isn't Mobley, and we know the greatness of Donovan Mitchell. It's Darius Garland. Last game in the first half, he had 26 points, and he went to the free throw line 11 times. I called for him after game 1 to be more aggressive, but they're going to need his points, in particular as they shift the defense to help on Donovan Mitchell. And yes, I believe they'll start Karis LeVert over Okoro because he's a better shooter. But ultimately, Darius Garland has to be that dude if they're going to win it MSG tonight.
Same question for you, Michael. Who's the player on either side who you think decides the outcome in this critical game 3?
Well, I'm going to agree with Jalen completely, but I'm going to go to Brunson because I think those two and that matchup is really what decides the game and maybe even the series. And I just love that Stephen A. has to depend on Chicago-born and raised Jalen Brunson. I know that sticks in your craw a little bit, but let me say this. Those double teams, Jalen Brunson, one of the great things about him is just his learning curve and how quickly he picks things up. And it almost seems intuitive in no time at all. We saw that with Dallas last year. That's why Dallas has suffered so much without Jalen Brunson there this year. But Brunson, he's going to adjust to those double teams if that is Cleveland's strategy this time around. I think not only can he and will he control the game, but he can help settle his teammates down. And Stephen A., that may be very important in terms of some of those neophytes that you're looking at their lack of offensive efficiency. How do they get calmed down? That ain't going to be left to Tibbs, okay? That's going to be left to Jalen Brunson. That's what a great point guard does, a guy who can control the game and his team. And so I think this is Garland and Brunson and Garland. And I love seeing that matchup of those two young guys coming into their own as mature players.
As big time as Jalen Brunson was in game 2, not game 1, not so much in game 2. When you talk about what you need from him, here's what I love. With the Knicks, with him with the ball in his hands, that level of poise that he exercised, he gets to implement with other dudes and gets to facilitate them doing the same, those young bucks that you just alluded to. In the case of Cleveland, Donovan Mitchell is the dude with that experience, but he's an assassin. He's a scoring machine. He can talk to them about calming down, but he's got to amp it up. And as he amps it up, they're going to try to go along with him. They may be a bit too erratic because of their youth, and it may work against them. Jalen Brunson being the point guard has a better chance of pulling off, really affecting his teammates more so than Donovan Mitchell in my mind.
I'm just surprised when we asked for dynamic duos, you didn't say Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle. I must mention his name right now because up front, there isn't necessarily a Cleveland Cavalier that could probably get you 20 to 25 points in a game. So Julius Randle has a chance to sometimes rest defensively, but be uber aggressive offensively, knocking down threes and getting shots at the goal. So I believe Julius Randle also, a guy that the fans were booing last year, now becoming a fan favorite.
Well, I'll say this.
Can I pose a quick question?
Go ahead, Michael. Really quick.
Can I pose a quick question, Green? And Jalen will know this. The pressure on the Knicks in that building, in that venue with the excitement, I mean, that to me, there's so much expected and so much pressure on them to deliver what Stephen A. is talking about. You've been in this situation where you start off at home in a big series. God knows you had those against the Knicks and against the Bulls in your day. Can they be calm enough? Can that get to the Knicks here and work against them?
I'll point to one person, the great Stephen A. Smith. Imagine his attitude when he first showed up and woke up today, got dressed, came to the show, did first take, did all of this. He's so excited. He just can't hide it. Imagine if they lose tonight. how he's gonna be looking.
Yeah, that's true. That's I mean, there's a lot about that.